Hi friends, I promised you that I'll be sharing with you everything about poultry farming as a beginner, some of the things that I have learned in my farm here, and yeah, it's good to share. If you're watching me for the very first time, my name is Aspiria and this is my YouTube channel. We share things about farming, marriage and etc. So here we do things that add value in your life as a person. And so I'm going to share with you updates about our poultry farm, marketing, how do we sell our eggs, what are some of the challenges so far. Let's get started. Kindly like the video. If you haven't yet subscribe, and yeah, let's begin. So doing poultry is like betting, especially if you are doing layers. Guys, if you're watching me, you know that I have layers, and so when you start from day one, you actually don't have any idea whether these birds are actually going to lay eggs. So it's like, I usually term it as betting, because you're putting in your money, you're investing in your time, your efforts, everything, but you are not sure whether these birds are going to lay eggs. So I'm going to start with you, sharing with you good things that we have had on our farm. The very first good thing we have is our birds started laying eggs. Now, if you do layers, you know what I mean. When you start birds from day one, I have a friend of mine. She did buy birds from the agent, and she did not know whether they were layers, but they told her these birds were layers. It is very hard to differentiate them at day one, and so as she took care of them, they grew up, they became brown, just like you look at these ones of mine, but eventually they turned into broilers. I think they were croilers. They were not purely exotic layers, so they did not lay eggs. And she had invested in money from the first month up to the 6th month. It was a lot of money. So you know what I mean when I talk about a bird started laying. It's so confirming, it's so good, and gives you that morale to continue investing, because you're not sure that the birds are indeed layers. The very first egg came in week 16, when they were almost week 17, and that is something we got proud of. And from then, the production increased. If we drew the curve, it kept on increasing. Apparently, our birds 28 weeks, that is close that's about 7 months, and yeah, the production hasn't been that bad, and we really thank God for that. Then another thing that is good that I can share with you, I have gained a lot of knowledge. Sometimes we look at achievements and we want to look at money, want to look at what we bought, we forget the fact that we didn't actually have the knowledge. Yes, you can do the research, you can even study about poultry, you can have all the knowledge, but the practical knowledge is very important. And that is one of the things we have gained in our poultry farm. We have gained a lot of knowledge. Actually, I didn't know how a sick bird looks like. Right now, I can go in the poultry house and I'm able to tell that this bird is not nice, and I have to take it to the isolation room. I can tell that these birds are not feeding well. I can tell that this litter is not nice. I need to change, or I need to, turn it. So I have gained a lot of knowledge, and I don't take that for granted, because as we started our farm, we looked at a lot of things. We are passionate farmers, like people who have dreamed of being poultry farmers from, I think, so many years ago. And so bringing these birds has helped us to learn a lot of things, in that it has strengthened our dreams. If we dream having a bigger poultry farm, now we know how to feed these birds, we know a lot about brooding, we know this and that. Of course, I cannot brag that I know it all. I'm still in the learning process, but there are a lot of things that I have learned in our poultry farm, and that I call an achievement. And so the third thing that we have got visibility. I call it visibility. Like when people know you that you are now a poultry farmer, you get to know fellow poultry farmers, and you go into workshops together, learn a lot of things. People can be able to reach you out, ask you knowledge. So it's like we've got a bigger network, and people have taught us a lot, and we've also taught people a lot. We've also been able to employ some people, much as they don't earn that much, but at least we add value on some other person's life. So that is also a great achievement that we have achieved so far from poultry farming. And then another thing that we have achieved is getting to start something, like dreaming it and making it a reality. Sometimes you dream something, you feel like I want to do this, but you will never do it. You always keep procrastinating, thinking things are not easy. You keep pushing and pushing until you never do it. So starting this farm, bringing these birds home and caring for them from zero up to now, when they're still alive, it's such a big milestone that we cannot take for granted. And you guys, another achievement that we have seen, we've also started selling eggs and we get money. Yeah, at least the birds can now feed themselves. We stop putting in our own money. At least we sell the eggs and eat something small and put back that money into the farm. That is also an achievement that we cannot take for granted. So like any other business, poultry farming has a lot of challenges. And so just like I told you, I first shared the good things that we have received from this farm, and also allow me share some of the challenges that so far have really stabbed our hearts. And so our birds started laying, and it's been really a great thing, a great opportunity. But no one told us that, guys, sometimes you are going to get a lot of damages. Like as you're collecting eggs, you find a lot of damages. So you find that the money that was supposed to be your profit has actually turned into, the eggs have turned into damages, and no one can buy damaged eggs. And sometimes the birds lay eggs that are not of the same size. You find sometimes these ones are big, these ones are small, and we've had a lot of complaints like from our buyers. Of course, when we give them, we always ask them for a honest feedback. And so you find someone telling you that, you know what, the eggs are small, my customers are complaining. And of course that was also not an easy thing. But at least there is an improvement, and we've started getting like positive comments. The eggs are big, the eggs are sweet, yum. The things that keep us going. And then the third thing, birds got sick. Like one day, it rained heavily, and we had not covered with the tarpaulins, and so rain entered into this house, and it had to make the litter wet. And for sure that these birds do not like anything wet. They don't have to eat those things that are rotten. And for them, when it rains, they enjoy, running up and down, eating those insects, and they fell sick. Guys, production went down. Like you find that if we've been getting 110 eggs, we start getting 90, up to 60. And that was a big blow, like to us in our poultry farm. But nevertheless, we cannot lose hope, and we cannot lose focus. As I told you that any business will do that. Even if you're doing what, if you tell us honestly, there are challenges that make you feel like quitting, but we cannot quit. And then another thing in the world of market, the prices of eggs, apparently they are down, and the feeds are very expensive. And so that puts us down as small farmers. Of course, those people who have a lot of birds, like big farms, they may not feel that severe loss, but for us we feel it, because if you've been selling 12 eggs at 12,500 Uganda shillings, you're going to sell it at 11,000 Uganda shillings, and that is a big reduction. Mind you that the feeds also these days The concentrates are not so expensive, still on the same prices, but the price of maize brand is really worrying. If you're watching me and you're a farmer, you know what I mean. And that is also a big challenge, but nevertheless, we have to continue doing the business because we are not the only ones affected. Sometimes prices fluctuate in many areas, so we are willing to be patient and continue hustling. And meanwhile, our other birds that we brought, guys, we brought another bunch of birds. They are also preparing to start laying, and hopefully we believe that when they start laying, that is when we are going to enjoy our profit, because the money we've been getting from these birds, suppose these birds thinking that it's a profit, we would put it into another bunch of birds, and that is really a good investment. So we are happy to share with you all this lot that has been happening, and plus life challenges, how family things, and things that we may not share on camera. But yeah, that is it about the poultry farm. And so I believe you learned something. I also want to encourage you as a farmer that the challenges that you're facing are not for a lifetime. They are going to end, and you're going to enjoy. And also I want to encourage you that look at the positive side of the farm. What are the things that you have achieved that can keep you going? Sometimes when you're about to quit or when you feel discouraged, it's always very important to look on the other side of the river. Look at the things. Yes, I've achieved this, like I told you my achievements. That is very good to keep you going. Thank you so much for watching. I believe you found something helpful, and that if that is so, share this video, like it, and subscribe.